From a fighting style that's straight up relentless, to a coach and training partner who's the best in the business, there are many reasons why Justin Gaethje is one of the scariest fighters in the UFC, starting with the fact that he's known as the most violent man in the most violent sport. In fact, it was Joe Rogan who gave Justin this title, and rest assured, his reputation is definitely there for a reason. His countless performances against his opponents highlight just how much of a tendency he has toward violence. Just think about how he proved how dangerous he can be in his fight with Tony Ferguson. Tony had his face bleeding, and Justin still remained unrelenting in his assault.
This is what Ferguson has to do, though. Just make it ugly, man, and give it to you.
But that's not all. He straight up bludgeoned El Cucuy for about 5 rounds. That's a level of dedication and skill that you won't find in every fighter out there. No wonder people are scared of fighting this guy. There's also the fact that he isn't the kind of person who enjoys ending the game with a flashy knockout. Instead, he almost relishes in the violence and loves to get his hands dirty. You won't see this guy winning due to a technical move. It's almost always something that requires a ton of pain and sacrifice. And it's usually the opponent that's going through a world of hurt, and that's why he's such a big hit among the fans.
This is crazy. Absolutely nuts. Through half a round. Gaethje back to work on the leg kick.
They love seeing a guy that's so ready to get into it and make the octagon a living hell for his opponents. I mean, he's the only fighter in UFC history to have won either Performance of the Night or Fight of the Night bonus for every one of his first 7 matchups for the promotion. But there's another reason why he's so dangerous. And it's because he can get into the head of his opponents. Remember last year when he sent a straight-up obnoxious attack toward Conor McGregor? He said that the Irishman was simply scared to fight him, and that he lost the confidence that once made him strong. But that's not all. Justin also asserted that he's made some terrible choices over his career, and now Conor can't even show up to the octagon to take him on. Those words are bound to rile anyone up, but maybe that's just part of the strategy that Justin employs to make sure his opponents are not in the right mindset when facing him.
Tournament to qualify as the #1 contender, and he spins around and throws the first strikes here. And that's how most people feel.
Gaethje went as far as to call McGregor a He added that he'd take each piece of his certainty and push it into the waste disposal. In the process, he'd pretty much crush Conor. That's just who Justin is and the way that he plays. He was very sure that Conor wouldn't be able to take him out. The way he's talking, it's clear that he's pretty confident in himself. But what makes it also scary is that he's not just words. He's got the dedication and the skill to back up his claims, which is why he's so open and callous with what he's saying.
Big left from Gaethje. And a return on the counter right by...
There's another reason why he's an absolute nightmare, and it's that he doesn't care about his health or his opponents for that matter. In the UFC, it felt like for years, there were athletes who were capable of dismantling their opponents. You had people that were trying their best to mitigate the damage and risk involved in these fights, while still, of course, trying their hardest to win. But then came Justin, who was a man on a mission to cause some serious violence to anyone in his proximity.
Like Nostradamus. Oh! And there Gaethje pushes him down. Foster actually landed on that exchange too.
He's the kind of fighter that never really gives his opponents a chance to breathe in the octagon, even if it comes with risks to his own health. The kind of style he has pretty much guarantees that he's going to get hit during the fight, and it's something that he's very much ready and prepared for. In some way, he's accepted that one of these days, he's not going to get up from a punch that finds a way to his chin.
And of course, Gaethje. Look at those shots, that right hook again connecting.
But that determination and acceptance are ultimately what fuels him even further as a fighter, giving him the freedom to take on the kind of assaults that most other fighters would simply shy away from. He mentioned in the past how people think he's too reckless and that he takes too many shots, but that's not it. He takes shots in the forehead. There's nothing wrong with that according to him. It puts him in punching range. That said, a big part of why he's so scary in the ring is who he trains with.
Gaethje knows where he wants to fight. Nice body shot there by Gaethje, but a good knee by Oliveira.
This is a guy that trains with people like Kamaru Usman, and when your sparring partner is someone known as the Nigerian Nightmare, well, then you're bound to become a scary fighter yourself. Kamaru and Justin both share a training camp. Their coach is Trevor Whitman, who's considered to be one of the best people in the business. Because of this, you'll often see the two going up against one another. In fact, Kamaru even shared an image of the two training together while he was preparing for his fight with Leon Edwards. He stated that just like iron sharpens iron, so too do men sharpen each other. While it was exciting for fans to get an inside look into Justin's training,
To hurt the champ a little bit.
Back to the well with that front kick.
Oh, beautiful takedown by Nurmagomedov.
the truth is that this isn't even the first time he's battled it out with Kamaru behind the scenes, and this added time and training together has allowed both of the fighters to become more fearsome as a result. Fans think that Usman has picked up a few moves from Kevin, like his striking ability has improved a lot over the years. But I'm willing to bet the reverse is true too, and Justin is becoming a better fighter thanks to his training sessions with Usman, though it's definitely worth noting that the brilliance of their coach, Trevor Whitman, also plays a big part in making these fighters as formidable as they are.
Oh, he's got his hands locked. Oh my goodness. Justin Gravy.
Speaking of his training, it's definitely some of the roughest that a UFC fighter can go through. He's often shown showcasing his nasty training videos on social media. You can be sure that the fighter's toughness and durability are a direct result of just how hardcore his training sessions get.
That's what it looks like there. Maybe still trying to shake it off a little bit, Chael.
Yeah, he's kicking him in the calf.
Trevor Whitman stated that Gaethje didn't come in until he wanted it for himself. He told his trainer that he wanted to change, and Whitman asked him just what his purpose was as a fighter. Together, they've been working on trying to improve a bunch of different aspects of the fighter, including things like potent position, which allowed Justin to be a bit more upright and more balanced. He was able to take a step back if necessary and needed. The fighter also handled setting traps much better for his opponents, baiting them into getting aggressive. Plus, Whitman also taught him to be a bit more defensive when necessary, instead of just being the ultra-aggressive fighter he usually tended to be. These aspects have definitely improved his fighting style, making him a much more well-rounded person within the octagon. Because of all this, he believes that he's got a lot to prove. He's returning to action soon enough, and Justin feels like over time, he's accrued quite a lot of haters. He wants to shut up everyone that's been going against him with his performance at UFC 286. Justin believes that his return will showcase to everyone that he's still the monster that he's always been. Though, coming off a loss is always going to feel different than returning from a win, especially a loss from a championship game. The fighter stated that he was still in for a fun ride and is going to make sure all these haters are left silent by the end of it. But those are all the reasons why fighters are so scared of Justin Gaethje.